He walked away from her on the day that was supposed to change everything. Graduation day was meant to be the soft opening of a forever. The sun rose gently over the city, filtering through the glass walls of the auditorium like a blessing that had taken its time to arrive. Rows of chairs stretched endlessly, filled with proud parents, excited friends, and partners holding bouquets wrapped in pastel paper. Cameras were raised. Smiles were practiced. Futures waited patiently. For Evelyn Carter, the day carried more weight than applause could ever express. She sat in the second row, cap balanced carefully over her pinned curls, gown pressed perfectly against her knees. Her fingers trembled, not from nerves, but from anticipation. In exactly 11 minutes, her phone would vibrate. In exactly 11 minutes, a deal years in the making would be sealed. $300 million. The number felt unreal even in her own thoughts. She inhaled slowly and glanced sideways at the man seated beside her. Daniel Carter. Her husband. He didn't look at her. Daniel adjusted the cuff of his tailored navy suit, his jaw tight, his attention fixed on the stage, as though something there irritated him. His posture was rigid, distant. He hadn't smiled all morning. Evelyn noticed. She always noticed. She leaned closer, her voice low and warm. "You okay?" Daniel didn't respond immediately. When he did, his voice was clipped. "I'm fine." That was a lie. They had been lying to each other for months. The applause erupted as the dean stepped forward to begin the ceremony. Names would be called. Degrees would be awarded. Dreams validated. But Daniel's mind was elsewhere. He wasn't thinking about Evelyn's years of sacrifice, how she'd studied through pregnancy scares, worked nights while classmates slept, or how she'd smiled through rejection emails and silent disappointments. He was thinking about himself. About how her success had begun to eclipse his. About how the whispers had changed. Daniel Carter, once the golden boy of venture capital, now introduced as Evelyn Carter's husband. He hated how small that made him feel. As the ceremony continued, Evelyn's phone buzzed softly in her lap. She didn't look. Not yet. Her heart pounded, but she kept her eyes forward, her lips pressed into a calm smile. She knew what that vibration meant. The boardroom in Zurich. The final signatures. The last vote. Her future cracking open. Daniel noticed the vibration. His eyes flicked to her lap, then away again, irritation tightening his mouth. This was exactly what he meant. Always something with her. Always distracted. Always chasing another milestone. When Evelyn's name was finally called, the applause felt thunderous. She stood, smoothing her gown, her smile radiant. For a brief second, she turned toward Daniel, expecting, hoping for pride. She found none. He clapped politely, eyes flat. Her smile faltered, just slightly. She crossed the stage anyway. That was what she had learned to do. Keep moving, even when support disappears. When she returned to her seat, diploma in hand, Daniel leaned toward her. His voice was low, controlled, and devastating. "We need to talk." Her heart skipped. Now. Yes, now. The ceremony blurred after that. Evelyn barely heard the final applause, barely registered the standing ovation. All she felt was the weight of his tone, the finality in it. They exited into the side corridor, away from the crowd. Daniel stopped near a marble pillar, pulled a manila envelope from inside his jacket, and handed it to her. She stared at it. "What's this?" she asked, though something inside her already knew. "Divorce papers." The word struck like a slap. "Daniel, this is my graduation day." "Exactly," he replied coldly. "It's symbolic. A clean break." Her fingers tightened around the envelope. "A clean break from what?" "From pretending," he said. "From living in your shadow. From being married to someone who's never home, never present." Evelyn's phone vibrated again. Harder this time. Daniel scoffed.
See?
You can't even focus now. She swallowed.
Please.
Not here. But Daniel had already stepped back. I've already signed, he said. My lawyer will handle the rest. People passed by, laughing, celebrating, unaware that a marriage was collapsing in the hallway. Daniel straightened his jacket. Congratulations on the degree. Then he walked away. Evelyn stood frozen. Her phone vibrated a third time. This time, she answered. Yes, she whispered. A voice burst through the line, jubilant and shaking. Evelyn, it's done. The board approved unanimously. The acquisition closed. 300 million. You did it. The world tilted. She slid down against the marble pillar, diploma clutched to her chest, divorce papers crumpled in her hand. Applause echoed faintly from the auditorium. Her marriage was over. Her life was just beginning. Evelyn did not go home that day. After the call ended, she sat there for a long time, listening to the echo of celebration from rooms she would never re-enter the same way again. Then she stood, wiped her tears, and walked out of the building alone. That night, she checked into a quiet hotel overlooking the river. She laid the divorce papers on the table. Beside them, she placed her phone, still buzzing with congratulatory messages from investors, partners, and board members who had no idea her heart was bleeding. She knelt. Not because she felt strong, but because she had nothing left to hold on to. God, she whispered, voice breaking, if this is the price of where you're taking me, then please don't let it be wasted. She cried herself to sleep on the floor. Years earlier, Evelyn had prayed very different prayers. She met Daniel Carter at a networking event when she was still invisible, just another ambitious woman with too many ideas and not enough access. Daniel had been charming, confident, already successful. He saw her brilliance early, or so she thought. At first, he celebrated her mind, introduced her proudly, paid for dinners she insisted on splitting. Then things changed. When her ideas began to outshine his. When mentors asked for her opinion. When her name appeared on shortlists he's never made anymore. Support slowly turned into silence. Silence turned into criticism. You're doing too much. You're never satisfied. You act like I'm holding you back. She stayed anyway. Because she believed marriage meant endurance. Because she believed love required shrinking sometimes. Because she believed God hated divorce more than heartbreak. What Daniel never knew was that Evelyn had stopped waiting for permission. After one especially painful argument, when he told her she was chasing fantasies, she cried in the bathroom, then opened her laptop. That night, she drafted the proposal that would change everything. For 2 years, she worked in silence. Rejected, ignored, mocked. She pitched rooms full of men who smiled politely and dismissed her the moment she spoke faith into vision. But every rejection drove her deeper into prayer. She fasted when doors closed. She worshipped when bank balances fell. She wrote notes on her mirror. If God sent the vision, he will fund it. The Zurich deal was not luck. It was obedience. Daniel's life unraveled quietly. The divorce gave him temporary relief, validation, applause from friends who said he'd finally chosen himself. But deals stopped coming. Calls went unanswered. Younger men replaced him in rooms he once dominated. Then one afternoon, he saw her face on a screen. Evelyn Carter, CEO, Phoenix Global Acquisitions. $300 million. Faith-forward leadership. The interview clip ended with her words. I lost things I thought would destroy me, but God was clearing space. Daniel felt something crack. They met again 3 years later. A charity gala. Evelyn entered the room like someone who knew who she was. Grace in her posture. Authority in her silence. Daniel barely recognized her, not because she looked different, but because she no longer looked unsure. "I owe you an apology," he said, voice shaking. She listened. Then she smiled gently. "I forgave you a long time ago," she said, "but reconciliation isn't always the assignment." Evelyn went home that night and opened her Bible. The verse was underlined from years ago. "When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him." She whispered, "Thank you for not answering my prayers the way I begged, but the way you planned." Her success did not make her bitter. It made her free. She funded scholarships, mentored women, built companies with prayer rooms. And on the anniversary of her graduation day, she returned to the same auditorium, this time as a keynote speaker. She ended with words that silenced the room. "Some people leave when they can't control the outcome. But if God called you, no abandonment can cancel the assignment." The applause rose. Daniel watched from the back. Too late. He walked away on the day that was supposed to change everything. He was right.
It did.
Just not for him. If you enjoyed this story, you don't want to miss the next. Please stay tuned by hitting the subscribe button. Thanks so much.